Hi, it's Andy. I'm here with Cody Hamann. Cody is a fire pilot with Orange County Fire, and he's going to talk to us about what it takes to be a fire pilot, and we're starting right now.
My name is Cody Hamann. I'm one of the fire pilots, the chief pilot here at Orange County Fire Authority. The career path for the helicopter pilots here is generally something that they'll obtain the experience prior to ending up here at the Orange County Fire Authority. So the pilots come from a pretty diverse background, different skill sets, oil and gas, Coast Guard pilot. A lot of them are fire pilots, previous fire pilots, maybe with different companies. Generally, due to our hour requirements and our experience level requirements to obtain a job here at the Orange County Fire Authority, it requires the pilots to have previous experience elsewhere prior to arriving here at Orange County. The pilots are tasked with daytime rescue, nighttime rescue, and then also carries over into firefighting. So we'll do aerial firefighting, both daytime and nighttime. Currently, we operate 2 helicopters, looking to expand that fleet to a total of 4. We have 2 Bell 412, which is categorized as a Type 2, a medium aircraft, 11,900 pounds takeoff. And we operate a fixed tank, what's referred to as a fixed tank that hangs underneath the aircraft. It has doors that are open and closed based on the pilot's inputs, carries 360 gallons of water, and we use that to engage fire from an aerial perspective. Secondly, we're also tasked for rescue operations, so we're considered search and rescue operations. So the pilots will perform various tasks, different what we call evolutions or skill sets that range from tow in, basically putting a skid on a steep part of a hillside or a mountainside, to using the hoist that we have located on the side of the aircraft, where we can actually extend a line that usually contains our rescue paramedic, and we can lower somebody down into a situation to extract a patient or to further assist them with their needs within the county. As far as the requirements for pilots to basically start here with Orange County Fire Authority, the company requires 4,500 hours of flight time. Most of that, obviously, for all of us is rotary wing. I think probably about half of our pilots are dually rated, so we have a rotorcraft and a fixed wing rating. Just for those of you that don't realize this, it's actually 2 different licenses. So there's a fixed wing, and then there's what we call rotary wing or helicopter. Those are 2 different types of licenses that you would obtain through an FAA regulatory body. All of the pilots have what's called an Airline Transport Pilot Certificate, an ATP, you'll hear that referred to. That's the highest rating that a pilot can obtain. Basically, you'll have gone through a private pilot, then an instrument, then a commercial, and a commercial allows you to fly for hire. So when you hear somebody referred to as a commercial pilot, that just lets you know that they're allowed to fly for compensation or hire. And then a higher rating than commercial would then become the ATP, or Airline Transport Pilot Certificate. And there's various requirements that you would have to meet to obtain that. Most of our pilots are also CFI, CFII, and that refers to a flight instructor and a certified instrument flight instructor, so CFI, CFII. As far as the requirements, ATP, CFI, obviously, if we want to instruct, and because we fall under the guidelines of Part 91, instructing is frequent and definitely needed at Orange County Fire. College, there's actually not a college requirement, although the guys have all gone through it. It wouldn't be something that you would need to do. Often the rotorcraft rating or the fixed wing rating, when you're talking about a cost, can span upwards of $150,000 to $200,000. So it's a costly investment. Orange County Fire does not provide that license, where some of the other agencies or departments around here will. That's pretty much it. So probably the perception for pilots, I think what everyone thinks we do is fly around, burn holes in the air, and just constantly up in there having a good time. where it's all flying, all fun. I think the reality of it is there's more downtime than people would actually expect. We're not out there all the time. And second to that, basically for every hour we put up in the air, there's almost an hour of paperwork involved with that too. So it's more than just getting in the aircraft and flying around and having a good time. There is a lot of downtime that comes with that, and then there's also a lot of paperwork that comes with that to make sure that everything's properly documented. You're dealing with a federal agency, exactly. So, and then reimbursement rates, things like that. So that's the side of the job that maybe is not as glamorous. Flying is great, paperwork, downtime, that's the other side of the story. That's difficult to say. I think that, I'm not going to eliminate anybody from that process. I think that if this is something that you want to do and it's something that you see yourself having a future in, then by all means you should pursue it. And, it can be a great job for anybody, or it can be a nightmare for anybody. It's really how you see yourself operating, I think, in the years to come as you get out of your youth and into your adult years. It's demanding. There will be a lot of time away from wife and kids, family, things like that. But there's also a huge reward to it too. There's a huge upside to being that public figure and helping a community that you belong to. So it's got its pros, it's got its cons, but if it's something that you want to do, I think commit to it 100% and it'll be rewarding in the end. So salary can range greatly. The fire department, and if you look at it almost as two different entities, right? There's flying and then there's the fire department. And this job is unique that it's flying within a fire department. Most agencies don't have that added benefit of being able to afford an aircraft. So this is unique. I don't want to say to Southern California, but Southern California has probably the greatest focus and number of aircraft that fly within an agency. Flying in itself, especially lately, can be pretty lucrative. Airlines are really pushing up their salaries, and because of that, you're having a lot of rotary guys or helicopter pilots that are kind of going that route. So it's a fairly easy transition for them. They've got the experience in flying. They can go obtain through what's called a conversion, a fixed wing license, and then kind of join the airlines and go that route. But for rotary, there's a good, it's into the six figures and can go higher than that. It really just depends on what your focus is, whether it's oil and gas on a even two week rotation, or a job like this where you're flying for the public. I think overall, private organization is always going to pay a little more than the government, and I'm sure most of you are aware that private industry pays better than government. But you have the job security and you have the pension that comes with this job. So there's pros and cons to both of them. It's a tough road. It's rewarding in the end. I think you could talk to any helicopter pilot especially, and they'll tell you that the road was tough, and a lot of the times you are away from friends, you're away from family, and so it takes a little while to build that, that normalcy back into your life where you're not traveling and constantly gone and back home, and you just feel like you lived maybe 2, 3, 4 different lives. Eventually you'll get to the place that you want to be, and it will be rewarding for you in the end. I think something important to keep in mind is that flying is really done out of the enjoyment for everyone that is part of it, of this community. It's very small, it's very tight-knit. You'll build great friendships and have a wonderful time doing it. And then, on the other side of it, obviously, it comes with its own set of difficulties, tragedy, things of such. It's definitely a dangerous job. But, my advice to anybody that wants to get into it is definitely go for it. I love it.